everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm gonna be starting an alternative Future of the World series or Future World Builders. This concept is made all across the world and I figured I will make one as well. I'm gonna try and make it as realistic as possible, but I'm not sure how good I can make it. So basically we're gonna start from the Russian-Ukrainian War and we're gonna work our way up. So as of the day I'm recording this video, Russia has like control over like this area of Ukraine and that's it. So yeah, we're gonna be continuing the scenario. So Ukraine is now pushing back a lot. Russia. I believe this morning the bridge that connects Ukraine to Russia was bombed, so yeah, and destroyed. So yeah, now Russia can't really have access to it, but they do if they like Navy, but nah, yeah. Ukraine cuts this part from Russia, and now they start to push back towards Crimea. But Russia does now push even more over here in the Ukraine area here. Belarus also joins this war, but they were in like kind of from the beginning, and this part officially falls. And Ukraine even starts to push back over here and they capture Mariupol over here, which is like in this area. Anyway, the first so now Ukraine does something pretty good for them. They start their own push now into Crimea. So yeah, they eventually get half of the peninsula. And this is the first time when Ukraine actually pushes into Russian territory. I know it's not technically Russian, but in the scenario it's gonna be Russian because they kind of have control over it. So yeah, Russia now continues their push into Ukraine from here, but with small steps because they do kind of send their troops in here, but they don't really have a way to send them, so that's bad for them. But they do push across Ukraine now, this part of Ukraine. Eventually Crimea is captured. And that's a pretty huge blow to Russia. Okay, so now Ukraine starts to push back over here. And they get really close to Donetsk. It's around in this area. It's somewhere in that area, so yeah. And now they push a lot back. They push back a lot, actually. So now Ukraine's plan is get all of this back and then finish the war. I mean, they got what they wanted. They got all of their stuff back and they also got Crimea. So yeah. But Russia now sends all of their military and that's gonna be a problem. They firstly push hard into Ukraine over here. And they also start to push into Belarus. And some small Belarus troops cross the border over here, but they do not make a lot of progress. And now Russian troops really push into Ukraine because now they're using their whole military. They eventually connect to Crimea once again and they recapture the peninsula. And now they continue their pushing. But Ukraine does push back at the areas near Kyiv. So now we're kind of at a stalemate, but the war is gonna continue. But Russia at this point is falling, so their military doesn't have morale. So yeah, they kind of overthrow the government at this point. So Ukraine gets their land back and they also quickly get Crimea, and after the Russian government is dethroned, we have a peace treaty being signed. I think this is the first alternative feature of the World Series where actually Ukraine wins the war against Russia, but in mine, yeah, Ukraine wins. So the peace treaty is this: they get all of Crimea, and that's pretty much it. So now Russia's government is falling, so it's already a new government sets up in Russia, which is like not that good. I mean, they still want good stuff for Russia, but they do not are that aggressive as today's government. So they will not declare war on anyone for now. So yeah. Also, let me get rid of this mess. Come on. We're gonna talk about this thing in the next episode probably, but now we need to talk about another war. Because, now I don't think this is pretty likely, but I don't want to go over the Chinese invasion of Taiwan yet. So we're just gonna go over a war between Turkey and Syria. I don't know why, but Turkey now wants to expand. So, yeah, a war between Turkey and Syria will be great for Turkey. So they first push into Syria from the north, and they also get the coast really quick. And I don't know where Syria's capital is, but it might be at the coast, I don't know. They eventually cut the country in half, and after some time Syria surrenders. The peace treaty is complete annexation. Now, the war didn't really do anything to this war. I mean, they do not promote war, but they didn't do anything about it this time. So, as I said, I don't really want to get over the Chinese invasion of Taiwan yet. So we're gonna head towards the Balkans, and Serbia declares war on Kosovo. Now, you know, the usual Balkan war. Actually, no, for now, this is the only thing that happens. Only Albania joins. And the civil war starts in Bosnia, so they kinda are in this war. Serbia, after the civil war started, Serbia declared war on Bosnia as well. So now, yeah, now they're in this. So this part eventually is taken by Serbia. And Serbia starts a push into Kosovo. Now, if you saw the border, it's a little bit new because I made it. This map doesn't include Kosovo, but I wanted to make it for the alternative future of the war scenario. Eventually, after some time, we have kind of the Bosnia, like, how can I say this? Exploding. Yeah. And Serbia continues their push into Kosovo, getting the country after just a few days. And over in Albania, nothing really happens. I mean, Serbia doesn't really want to cross the border into Albania, but they do that a little bit. And eventually a peace treaty is drawn. This is the peace treaty. Serbia annexes Kosovo and this part of Bosnia. Bosnia gets a new government that is most likely pro-Serbian, yeah. And Serbia also takes this part of Albania. So yeah, we're done with the Balkan War. Short Balkan War is not really a Balkan War because a Balkan War would mean all of the Balkans were involved, but that's not true. Because only Serbia, Albania, Kosovo, and Bosnia were involved. So, what else can we do for now? A war in Africa might break out soon. But for now we don't have a war, but we have South Africa doing something. They kinda annex Lesotho. And so, is Lesotho... No. Okay, there are two countries, Lesotho and Eswatini. I don't know which one is which, but I think this one is Lesotho. Yeah. No, this one is Eswatini. This one is Eswatini. And this one is Lesotho. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm not. So, some more unifications take place. So firstly, in Europe, I was thinking unification between Romania and Moldova could break out. Because like the Russian government now doesn't really have control over Transnistria after the recent Ukrainian war that they lost. So yeah, that's not a problem anymore. So Moldova joins Romania, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Eventually, a Benelux a Benelux country might appear in the future, but for now, no. So yeah, this is kind of the first alternative feature of the world map. Nothing really changed, but we did have some changes. Now I want to cover one last war before the next episode. In the next episode, we're gonna do a pretty big war. So yeah, stay tuned. Sudan declares war on South Sudan, and I believe and kind of a union is formed over here, an alliance between those countries. So yeah, now they're at war, and also Ethiopia. But we have Somalia kind of doing stuff, and we also have Somaliland also doing stuff. Yeah. Anyway, let's start the war. So firstly, we do have Sudan starting their push into South Sudan over here, and also a small push into Ethiopia. We also have Egypt joining this war. I don't know the relations between Egypt and Sudan, but I do know that they don't really like Ethiopia, so that's why they joined. Eventually, a really fast push in South Sudan is made, and after some time we have South Sudan kind of surrendering. Yeah, really fast, but South Sudan isn't that strong. We also have a small push into Ethiopia being started over here, but not a lot of progress. But some progress will appear over here because a push into Uganda is started. And we also have Somalia, not Somaliland, kind of pushing a little bit into Somaliland. And they also started a really small push into Ethiopia. But we do have Kenya and Tanzania crossing the border into Somalia. Eventually, we have even more troops cross Sudan and Egypt troops crossing the border into Ethiopia, and eventually a peace treaty is drawn, and it looks like this. So yeah, we have Sudan taking over South Sudan and a little bit of Ethiopia and Uganda. We also have Kenya taking a little bit out of Somalia. Somaliland gets independence, but not with all their claims. And we also have Somalia taking a little bit of land from Ethiopia. Now a border dispute appears over here into Somalia, between Somalia and Somaliland. It's a pretty small one, but it's still a border dispute. So the border dispute is this. Somaliland claims that they have this part, but Somalia claims that they have this part. So yeah, it's a border dispute, but yeah, you can agree on which country should take it. Ethiopia, after they lost the war, they got a new government, so they recognize this as a part of Somalia, not Somaliland. So yeah, but I'm gonna say that it's part of Somalia because Somaliland one day when the war was still going on, they were like, they had control over this area, and Somalia had control over like this area. So the Somaliland didn't have control over this part. They didn't. So yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk. This is the last war, but I wanted to talk about something in my channel. So I know I did the previous Return to the Future of the World scenario, but the problem was at the time I didn't have a world map, so I only had the map with Afro-Eurasia. So this, no, sorry. I only had a map with this and Oceania. I didn't have a map with South America. So yeah, now I have one, a world map, and I'm gonna continue making the alternative feature of the world on this map, and I'm gonna be restarting it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.